There's that classic moment of professional anxiety that I think just about everyone knows.
Oh, yeah.
You've made it through the application, you're finally sitting across the table, and the interviewer just leans in and hits you with that deceptively simple question.
Yeah. So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Exactly. And it feels so vague.
It feels like a trapdoor. I mean, we've all seen it happen, right?
Yeah.
The candidate who just starts rambling about their childhood or, every single job they've ever had.
They treat it like a warm-up.
A total warm-up.
Yeah.
But our source material, which is really focused on highly structured advice, argues that this is the exact opposite. This is the moment you have to seize.
The moment you pivot from just being another candidate to being the solution.
Precisely.
And that's our mission today. We're doing a deep dive into the prep work and the word-for-word script. You need to absolutely master that opening moment.
The goal is a short, really powerful introduction. We're talking maybe 30 to 45 seconds tops.
And the idea is that this little script guarantees you stand out as the most prepared person in the room.
And critically, the advice doesn't start with what you say. It starts way before that, with your mindset, your presence. Your introduction begins long before you open your...
Okay, so let's unpack that. The physical preparation. The source material gives us 3 nonverbal tips that set the stage. And the first one is surprisingly specific.
It is.
It says to arrive 20 minutes early.
20? Why so precise? I mean, isn't 5 minutes early good enough?
You'd think so. And look, 5 minutes shows basic punctuality, but 20 minutes, that's strategic.
Strategic how?
It serves 2 key psychological functions. The first one is just practical. It neutralizes all the external stress, the traffic, finding a parking spot, getting lost in the building. You arrive composed, not rushed.
Right. And that composure is half the battle. If you rush in, your heart's already pounding, and it's almost impossible to speak fluently when the pressure hits.
Exactly. But the second function is, I would argue, even more critical. It's for dedicated mental priming. So what are you doing for those 20 minutes?
You're not just scrolling on your phone. You're instructed to use that time to reread your prepared introduction, the script we're going to talk about, and, crucially, the original job description.
Ah, that is a brilliant piece of tactical advice. It connects your brain right in that moment to the employer's actual needs.
It's an anchor. By reviewing their key words, their requirements, just moments before you walk in, you make sure that everything you say is perfectly tailored. You're using their language.
It's a huge confidence booster, I imagine.
It is, because you know your script is fresh and relevant.
Okay, but let me just push back on that for a second for the listener. What about the awkwardness factor? You show up 20 minutes early. You could be just standing around making the front desk staff feel uncomfortable.
That's a great question. And the advice accounts for that. You're not supposed to check in 20 minutes early. The idea is to find a quiet spot, maybe in your car or a coffee shop nearby, to do that mental review. Then you walk in and check in at the standard 5 minutes early mark. So the 15 minutes before that are just for you, for psychological alignment.
So it's basically preparation disguised as punctuality. I like that. Okay, let's move to the second nonverbal point, dressing professionally. This seems obvious, but what's the specific message that smart clothes send?
Well, it taps into this idea some psychologists call enclothed cognition. Basically, when you dress the part, you start to feel the part. It changes how you see yourself.
But what about for the employer?
For them, it's the first non-negotiable signal. It says, I take this opportunity seriously and I respect your environment. It builds a little bit of trust before you've even said a word.
It sets a baseline of professionalism. You're taking it seriously. Now, the third piece, the specific script for that very first interaction, the perfect body language and manner.
Yeah, this is all about controlling that opening sequence. The advice is super prescriptive here.
Which is...
You stand until you're invited to sit. You offer a firm handshake, a warm smile, and direct eye contact. It shows immediate confidence and social awareness.
And the source material even gives us the exact words to say. It's not just hi.
No, it's structured.
Yeah.
You say, hi. My name is your name, and I'm here today for the interview. Thank you very much.
That thank you very much at the beginning.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
Why so early?
It's a subtle but really powerful psychological tool.
How so?
It immediately establishes gratitude and professionalism. It frames the whole thing not as a transaction, but as a valued opportunity. And it gives you, the candidate, a confident, controlled thing to say to avoid any nervous stuttering right at the start.
So the first impression they have of you is just organized and respectful.
Exactly.
That is a perfect transition, actually, because once you've controlled the physical setup and that first interaction, you get to the content, answering the big one. Tell me about yourself.
And this is where the strategy really kicks in. The source is very, very strict on this. Your answer has to be 100% focused on the value you bring to them.
Not your life story.
No. If you start talking about your college degree from 10 years ago or your hobbies, you've completely lost the plot.
I think that's where most people fail. They assume the interviewer wants a mini biography. They answer it chronologically.
They do. And what's so smart about this approach is that it replaces that biography with a simple 4-step checklist. It turns this big, scary, vague question into a structured analytical task.
Okay, let's break down those 4 things you have to include in this super fast intro. Point 1.
You have to immediately identify the skills and qualities you have that directly match that job description.
So you have to do your homework beforehand.
You have to have their keywords memorized so you can echo them right back. It just shows immediate alignment.
Got it. Point number 2.
You need to touch on your relevant experience or qualifications. This isn't the place for a deep dive, just a quick mention to prove you have the foundation, to prove you belong in that room.
Okay, and point 3 is about impact.
Yes, not just activity. You must include significant achievement. And we need to really stress the difference. A task is, I manage the social media accounts.
Right.
An achievement is, I use the social media accounts to increase customer engagement by 40%.
That distinction is everything. They want results, not just a list of your old duties. You have to show the value you drove.
Exactly. And that connects perfectly to the last point, number 4, which people always forget.
What's that?
You have to end by saying what type of person you are, plus what you will do for them if you get the job. It's the pivot from your past to their future.
So this 4-point framework, it forces you to be concise. It makes you distill your entire professional identity down into, 45 seconds?
It does. And the brevity itself is a sign of respect for their time. It's an immediate demonstration of your competence.
This is where it gets really interesting, because the source gives a complete word-for-word example script that hits all 4 of these points. So let's actually dissect it.
Okay, so the script starts by immediately building on that gratitude we talked about. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed for this position today.
It's deliberate. It sets the stage, and then it jumps right into mapping your skills, hitting points 1 and 2.
Yeah, the material suggests a really confident opening here. Something like, after studying the job description, I am confident I have the skills, qualities, and qualifications needed to excel in the role.
I love that little phrase, after studying the job description. It's not just bragging, it's showing you've done the work.
It shifts the burden of proof. You're not just hoping you're a fit, you're stating it based on your own analysis.
So smart.
And then the script follows up by listing a few high-value transferable skills. The examples given are being a fast learner, having excellent problem-solving capability, and the ability to manage a significant workload under pressure.
Okay, so why those? They sound a little generic, to be honest, even if they're true.
They are chosen very deliberately because they address the core unspoken anxieties every employer has.
Which are what?
They're always worried about a few things. How long will it take you to get up to speed? That's fast learner. How will you handle a crisis? Problem solving. And will you burn out? Managing workload under pressure.
So you're preemptively calming their biggest fears.
You're calming their fears before they even have to ask the questions.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so now let's get to the achievement part. Point number 3. This is where you have to back it all up with proof.
Exactly. And the script uses a really nice example that shows both results and teamwork. I have an impressive track record of achievement. For example, my previous role, I was praised by my supervisor for helping the team find new ways to increase sales by improving customer service standards.
That's very concise storytelling. It's not just a raw number, which might not fit every job. It focuses on initiative, finding new ways, and it adds that external validation, praised by my supervisor.
It works so well because it shows initiative and impact in a single sentence. And this is the part where you, the listener, you have to swap this out for your own true story.
Right. So if you're a software developer, it might be, I introduced a new process that cut down our bug fixing time by 20%. It's always about making things better, faster, or cheaper.
Exactly. Now we get to point 4, the commitment, the forward-looking promise that wraps it all up.
And the script here outlines future behavior. It says, the type of person I am means I will always act as a positive role model for the company, and I will make sure I take full responsibility for my ongoing professional development.
This is a direct promise of professional maturity.
Yeah.
You're basically telling them two things. My character is a good fit for your brand, and you won't have to babysit me to make sure I keep my skills up to date.
You're removing a management headache before you're even hired.
Instantly.
So this whole 45-second speech is this incredibly tight loop. It starts with their needs from the job description, and it ends with a promise to meet their future needs.
It is. And it all builds to this one phenomenal closing line, which I think shifts the whole dynamic. It takes you from an applicant to an asset.
Let's spotlight that final statement because it really is powerful.
Yeah.
If you hire me, I believe you will quickly see a positive return on your investment.
That language is so strategic. It completely reframes the whole relationship. You're not asking for a job anymore.
You're presenting a business case.
You're presenting a business case. And that word investment is so critical. It shows you understand their mindset, the financial and strategic reality of hiring someone. It ends the whole thing on this note of incredible confidence in future value.
The power here is really in the structure then. It forces you to be clear, to eliminate all the rambling, the irrelevant stories, and just focus on the high-value stuff.
Yes. So the key takeaway for you listening is that success here is all about that focused structure and just obsessive pre-preparation. Every single word, from thank you at the start to investment at the end, has to serve one purpose, showing how you are the solution to their problem.
Which means if you use this framework, customized for you, you will immediately come across as prepared, professional, and just totally results-oriented. It's a huge tactical advantage.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to sort of mull over. We talked a lot about matching your skills to the job description to build this intro.
Right.
So here's the question. If a candidate actually does all this work, if they carefully tailor this 30 or 45-second script to hit those 4 points perfectly, does the very act of doing that preparation say more about their critical thinking and their work ethic than any of the achievements they actually mention?
Meaning the preparation for the answer is itself the best answer. It proves your capability before they even get to ask the second question. Something to think about as you get ready for that next big opportunity.